Welcome back to the broadcast. A different conversation altogether. We are here. December is here. The festivities, though a little bit different courtesy of COVID-19, but all the same, we do not say that, we're just going to sit there because COVID has happened. Life has to move on. And so this morning we discuss budgeting for the festivities. It's very important that you balance your finances. You get to know how you're going to make your family happy. January is coming. Parents will be taking their students back to school. You need to be careful. And I know some of the people will tell you need to make these plans as early as January. When you start January, you start planning for the festivities, that very year. For those of you who are disciplined enough, for those of us who are disciplined enough, it is always indeed an easy thing to do. But many of us are not. Hence the reason why at this point of the festivities, we have to have this conversation and say, okay, how do you how do you attain the checks and balances of your monies and all that? And some of them actually, or some of the people are broke today. Some of them lost their jobs, and it's a whole different conversation. But all the same, we have to stay afloat. So joining me for this conversation, Pauline Wairimu, who's a certified financial coach, and she'll be taking us through this and tell us, December is here, so how do we plan? How do we enjoy Christmas at the same time? Look at what is going to happen in January or come January.
Thank you very much for the welcome to your station. Always a pleasure to be back.
Thank you.
So as you rightfully said, December is here.
Yes.
I mean, it's like we slept in March and we've woken up and it's December.
Yes.
This year has been particularly difficult, like no other in the history of the world.
Yes.
And but the truth is, December is here and January is coming. And we thank God for those of us who've made it so far, because we know many people, relatives, friends who didn't make it. So what do we do? I think to begin with, I want to say that money or money matters are 80% psychological. It's all in your mind, and only 20 is about the money.
Okay.
So maybe there's really nothing different between this December and any other when you think about it. Culturally, it's a festive season.
Yes.
We normally congregate together, meet people we haven't met for like a long time during the year, just eat and make merry. This year is going to be different. So I would begin by saying what happened. It's good to take stock. Let's not live in denial.
Yeah.
You said rightfully, life changed. There are people who lost their jobs. There are people who got jobs. There are people who are counting their losses. So if we reflect back and say, this is what happened to us, then we'll be able to pick up and say, so what do we do going forward?
Yeah.
When it comes to festivities, it's good to celebrate. I am of the opinion that be grateful for each day as it comes.
Right.
So I would say that it is good to take it a day at a time, but that December is coming. It's going to be a little bit different.
Okay.
We may not have all the things we've always had, but let's have something, at least just even for gratitude. Remember, if you're a family, the children, it's been tough for them. They've not gone to school. They've seen you lose your job. They've seen loved ones go. They've been traumatized, and so have you.
Yeah.
So there's need to just say, look, we came this far, so celebrate. To the extent at which you'll do, now that is personal.
That is another one.
If you used to do a whole goat,
yes,
maybe you should do half,
or
just a quarter. If you used to travel up country, go to Mombasa, Naivasha, that may not really be possible because the incomes have been affected, but you can still do a ride in the park. Now, where I live, I want to use my example.
Right.
I had never met my neighbors for like maybe 3 years since I moved in. Okay. But this COVID has made us meet. And for the first time, we're such good friends. And I know they're watching and they can attest to this.
Right.
So we've made such good friendships. Our children have also become very good friends. And we found ourselves doing activities together. So an example would be this Christmas, do a potluck, make chapati, let the other neighbor do kuku, the other one rice, and sit outside, of course with all the COVID regulations being followed, and enjoy yourself.
Right.
Now January is coming. will
January is
soon be.
before we even get to January,
Yeah.
because yes, reality is that we have to talk about January.
Yes.
Sometimes the discipline, like in as much as you say that it's 80%, in the mind and psychological, reality is that plans are necessary.
Yes.
And sometimes, creating that budget, and sticking to it can really be something that is very difficult. How then does one attain that discipline, from a financial perspective, to a point whereby you will have this budget and stick to it despite everything that has happened? And we started by saying that there's some people who actually plan for the festivities as early as January. Some adjustments have happened in life. Should they stick to that? Should they make adjustments? Should they, what happens?
Now, practice makes perfect.
Okay.
You cannot just wake up and start budgeting or sticking to it. As we said, many external factors have affected our plans. Many of our plans didn't go quite the way we wanted. So what do we do? Start by saying or assuming that today is 2nd of January, not 2nd of December.
Right.
So what do I need to do? Where am I at? What do I need to pay? So the first thing is to separate needs from wants.
Yeah.
Over a period of time from March, I am so sure even you have experienced it. There are things you didn't think you could do without.
Sure.
One of them is makeup. I haven't had a chance to put makeup
Because
until today.
You're working from home.
Yes.
Yeah? Yes.
So do you know, you didn't realize there are so many things you could do without. Yes. So start from there. Take stock and say, I used to think I can't do without 2 pairs of shoes every month. But hey, it's been a while since you even know your heels. So start from there, separate needs and wants, and then now quantify them. So is school fees a necessity? Is it a need, for example, for those of us who are parents? Definitely. So will buying new clothes for the children in December a need? Maybe for them it is, but you can forgo.
Yes.
For you who's a parent or a guardian, can do with what you have. So it's not so much as about sticking, but renewing or realigning your mind. Just be realistic.
Right.
Look, our income is now half, not what we used to have. Maybe one of the spouses has lost their job. There are people actually who don't even have an income. There are people who this topic is not even making sense because they are desolate. But I want to speak to all of them. Take stock of where you are, separate your needs and wants, and begin from there. So you assume, fast forward, we're on 2nd of January, what do you need to pay? What will you need to actually cater for? Is the goat, as I said, a need or a want? So if it is a need and you have reasons behind that, then maybe tell yourself, as I said, half a goat, not full. A goat, and the other thing is, I've found value is to sit and involve everyone. We are tempted as human beings to maintain status quo.
Right.
Naturally, you want to fight it back. This pandemic is worldwide. Remember, it wasn't your fault. It's not my fault. It found us. So sit and involve everyone before even that January comes, so that they start internalizing that, Mommy, this month or this year will not go up country to see our grandparents. This time, we're not going to call everyone now. Maybe we'll have to do it just with the neighbors. So let them internalize and involve them in the planning. In fact, let everyone say, so then what do we do with what we have? Use what you have. Right. Yeah, I think that would be easier than setting a target or an expectation that has always been there. You know for sure it won't happen this year. Yeah.
All right. We, particularly for the country, we are somewhere where there's a lot of confusion that is happening. Yeah. There's fear of the unknown. There's so much tension that it gets to a point where, if you do not have proper understanding of matters finances, you can lose it somewhere in between. And sometimes people will tell you, in matters finances, they lose it not because they want to, not because they have not taken stock, but simply because the knowledge is not as clear as that. And I mean, we go wrong a couple of times. That's why we're always told, seek the advice of a financial advisor and moving on. So at this particular juncture, so much is happening. And like you said, January is coming. It's going to be a different January from all the other Januaries, and that's a reality we have to accept. So then, is it important to seek that professional approach or advice?
Absolutely. I would advocate for that. Never fear to go out and seek help. You're not an island, I mean, of knowledge. So this is the right time to seek professional help. Matters finance. In this country, unfortunately, we do not have personal finance, for example, as a course in schools or in universities. And I think when I look back now, having gone through what we've gone through, it's about time we had these candid conversations. Just like we speak about disease, cancer, AIDS, we should be honest and free enough to say, look, we need to start teaching people about personal finance management. And in my view, this has to be deliberate. You have to plan your finances. It's not like weight gain. I've gained a lot of weight over this period because I eat all my meals. Working from home comes with lots of challenges also. I have gray hair now. I didn't think. I just woke up and in the morning I had a couple of them and they've been growing. So that happened by chance. And many other things that maybe we can think of. But personal finance planning has to be very deliberate. You have to plan. Otherwise we will fail. So we need to start early. Our kids, as they grow up, teach them. Give them money as pocket money, but teach them the value of first saving a portion, also giving back. It's also very important to have money for charity or giving back, and then spending. So as they grow up, they'll internalize it. Because then when you start teaching somebody who started working about managing money, sometimes it becomes difficult, even worse towards the end of their career. This thing is not in us. So let's inculcate the concepts of spending, first and foremost, actually earning. That money has to be earned. There are no shortcuts into that. You don't just wake up and get. So earning money and then spending it also, which is fine. You don't have to be a miser. You can never live a comfortable life if you're a miser. And then that money needs to be saved. But other than saving, you need to multiply it. And as we go forth, you asked me, what do we do going forward? I think we need to start internalizing the fact that money, we need to move from money is for spending to money needs to be invested. Because we say, the personal finance advisors say, for example, have an emergency kitty of 3 to 6 months. That has been working perfectly well for many people until COVID happened. It's been 10 months. So even though you had put 3 to 6 months, at some point it got exhausted. So the lessons we are picking again now is, it actually needs to be 18 to 24 months. Because if you've lost your job during this period, it probably will take you 2 years to get another one. And even just for the economy to pick, we're in a dire place as a country. We have to acknowledge that it's a bit tough for even the government to make ends meet. So what are they doing? They have to cut off to readjust, and so should we. And what I keep saying is, it's not for life, it's not permanent, it's for a period. So tell yourself, at least I've reached here, I've got to make it till 31st December. So strap up and tighten a bit, but it won't be forever. We'll get back on our feet. All right, even as we get back with lessons, I think, like you say, one of the big ones is that, well, if you are saving or you're having a kitty for an emergency, then from 6 you adjust to 12 months or so to speak. Before it even gets to that point, then one would want to say that it is important that you highlight some of the tips that would help you save, you know, obvious tips and all that, especially at this time, you're heading for a festive season. You started by saying that, you know, if you're doing one full, like a goat, you literally can go for, you know, half of it and all that. So what are some of the key things that you can reach out and say that, you know, this would help me save, this would help me balance, this would help me enjoy Christmas, but at the same time, do not overspend? Lifestyle adjustments and just acknowledging your reality. Don't be embarrassed to acknowledge that now it's not gonna be the same. If you start from there, you're gonna be at a good place. What will that entail? It will entail you making adjustments. So for every income that comes into your hand, whether you're employed or you're doing any business, make it a habit to start by taking out a certain amount. I always recommend 20%. minimum. Take that and put it before you start spending. So even now that we are heading to the festivities, once you get your salary, put that away. But I want us to inculcate another culture. Put away for what?
Okay.
It's not enough to set up a standing order, send that money into an account. You need to start multiplying it. So now for those of us who've been at home, or for those of us who've continued working, keep asking yourself, which other streams of income can I engage in with what I have? So that 20%, start multiplying it. I have seen people reinvent themselves. Kenyans are very dynamic. I mean, we are really a resilient lot. Like our CEO now sells vegetables from the back of her boot. People have reinvented themselves, and that's the good thing, because if you stick to what you've always known and what you've always been taught, you're gonna be stressed, disease will set in, and so will depression.
Right.
Yeah, so start by practicing this December. If you used to go to Mombasa, then maybe go to the park and see if you'll survive. I can promise you, you will.
You will.
It shall be well. So practice does make perfect. So my little tips would be, remove a certain percentage of your income, multiply it, and it shall be well. I can guarantee you.
All right.
I mean, some of us didn't think we'd get this far, but here we are, and we are grateful for that. So that you made it to 2nd of December, you will make it past 31st December 2020.
Yeah.
Most certainly.
This comes along with fears, lots of fears for those who've lost their jobs,
Yeah.
you know, totally lost your job. You probably had saved, like you rightfully put it, and you still can stay afloat for a while, but there's so much fear on even touching whatever it is that you have to spend. And most of the people will choose not to be happy at this time, will choose to adjust, like you say, but adjust in very radical ways. Is it time for us to be radical on ourselves?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Just like a drug addict, I don't think when they go to rehab, or people who have any addiction, that a good rehab would cut off that whatever it is they were taking. It's good to wean off. If you do it drastically, remember we said it's 80% psychological, the issue of money. You will cut off, and then it's like you'll be in a withdrawal symptom sort of scenario, and you'll get to a relapse. Chances are high you'll get back there. So wean yourself off slowly.
Okay.
And you'll with a target. So you need to set yourself goals of where exactly do you want to be 1 year from now, 2 years from now. But I said, begin from what happened. Look back. We are wounded.
Right.
Most of us, our pockets, our finances have been wounded. So take stock. That's how you confront that fear. Sit and look at yourself on the mirror and say, look, man, this is where I am. It's been bad. So if you did that just by speaking to yourself, speaking to your family, speaking to your relatives, that's a step towards getting rid of that fear. So cutting off drastically, no. My take would be wean off gradually. See how this Christmas happens. See how Easter will look like. And maybe next year, December, you'll be like, so we really didn't need to keep doing those things. We can actually have managed. And you know what? It would also go to things like you having to relocate, move houses.
Yes.
That takes courage. Move children from one school to another. That takes a lot of courage. Sell one of your cars, or sell the only car you have, so that maybe you're able to push for another 18 months. Also, let's not forget we are getting into campaign year next year.
Next year, yes.
And then there'll be elections.
Right.
Now, even without COVID, those 2 years are usually very difficult economically. The campaign, the year before elections, and then after elections, things still take time to pick up. So that's not going to stop. So have that in mind and say, this, even though it's not about COVID, we are getting into this sort of season. So what do I do?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. before we even get to the recovery plan, because that is one thing I would want us to touch on, now that you mention it.
Yes.
And it's not just a general perspective of the country, but generally, I mean, every other festive season, because we overspend, we overdo things, we blow things out of proportion, it gets to where you need to sit down and have a recovery plan. But first, you would go online, as they would say, Google is your friend and all these things, and you get very many tutorials on how, to create a budget for the holiday, on how to spend your money, on the tips of doing this and that. I would want to equate or amount that to professional, financial approach, but all the same, do you suppose it always, in a way, comes in handy to address the financial, procedure for everyone, or it is special for every other individual?
Very, very, very individual.
Yes.
You cannot have a one-fit-all sort of approach. And for the tutors, the students that I coach, or the people that I have done one-on-one with, I start from asking, what do you want in life? Really, why do you wake up? Why did you wake up today morning? Why did I come here today morning? You've got to have a goal. You have to set them. And it's good to look at yourself wholesome. Yeah. Your spiritual being, your health being, relationship, financial is just one of them. And also personal development. Yes. So you need to first ask yourself, why was I created? Why am I here at such a time? I need to make it very clear. Put those goals down, then set a target. You need to challenge yourself. And then again, be realistic to the extent where you say, okay, so I want to do this in the year 2021, March 30th, but what are the obstacles? Many of us don't sit down and think, but this is what will prevent me. It could be your spouse, it could be finances, it might just be yourself, procrastination. Then now that you've acknowledged that this might be my roadblocks, hindrances, then what do I need to do? It will have to take you. Okay. You have to get fed up of being fed up of your current situation. I might give you all the tips, I might guide you, and I might provoke you, but you've got to say that, yes, this is what I want. And for me, whoever comes for help, for me, that's usually the very first step to winning. You've decided I need help. So let's go out and say, look, I'm not this omnipresent person or omnipotent. I need help here. So individually, we will tailor make something that you resonate with, because unless you're part of the journey, unless it takes you, I may not really help at the end. Yes. So are we fed up of being fed up? If yes, come over. We'll sit and tailor make something. And fear will be one of them. We will confront that fear. And that point, I think I touched on it, the fact that you get to that point where like, I'm actually fed up. In most cases, there's that feel in January after the festivities, and you've exhausted almost everything that you had, or you're left with almost nothing, and you have to face the year fresh. The recovery plans, how do you set yourself so that when you get to that point, well, in a way, in as much as you enjoyed, you partied, and you forgot that January is coming, you find your way back and you're able to bounce back and face it and even make better decisions for the next festivities? Okay, so for me, I would begin by saying, if you acknowledge that you're going to be hit, that you're going to be worn out or burnt out by end of January, that's a good place to begin. So what will you do about it? To save yourself from that. That's the good place to begin. Unless you enjoy being in that state. There's this joke in our country, I think it's also one we call January. And there's a joke that it's usually 69 days. Yes, it is. But in most cases it is, honestly. Because reality is that, like, we are paid early in December. And so there's, I don't know if you have that feeling. I usually get this feeling of spending, giving. Then going to the shops and malls doesn't help, because everything is red and green, lit up. There's the Christmas music, so you kind of just find yourself and it's good to give. But then now maybe we go back to, so how will you look on January 3rd? That's why I said sit down and tell yourself, today is January 3rd. How do you want to feel about it? How do you want to look in January. If that feeling wouldn't be good, then maybe it's time to do something this December.
Right.
Yes. So that's as simple as I would put it.
All right.
Yeah.
Preparing to save yourself, I don't know. But there are times you've had the money, say it is November, and you know very well that I'll need this thing in January. But you do not push yourself to get that thing in January. And then January comes and here you are, you probably do not have money. Sometimes, I've had people being told as early as now, maybe the kids have been at home, they've also been eating.
Yes.
So they've grown big, fix their
eating.
uniforms, I know, as early as now. Get them shoes as early as now.
Yeah.
A good way to handle this, or sometimes it will be taking things a little bit too fast.
No, that's the best way. Actually, to separate the needs from the wants, as I said.
Like
so if it's like fees,
yeah.
because apparently every child is going back in January 4th, pay the school fees now.
Wow.
Get the bank account. I'm sure the school will be happy to receive that money. Tuck it in there. Then you will be like, at least have sorted school fees. And this is the little wins.
Yeah.
If you can tick off school fees from your list, come maybe December 15th and you tick off shoes and uniform, I tell you by 20th or 23rd, when you're making this decision about how will the festivities look, you'll have probably gone down to a quarter a goat.
Yes.
Because that's all that will be left.
Blessed,
so you'll still enjoy with the quarter a goat.
Okay.
But January will be peaceful. The child will go back. Everything will be sorted. And so it won't be 69 days.
Yeah.
Although it will feel like 69 days. But
there will be some ease, like, sigh of relief.
There's a bit of ease. So because you know yourself, and because you know the temptation you're saying of burning up every coin that you have, start by addressing that and countering that. And remember, it won't just happen this December. It takes time to win off. So maybe again in April, Easter, there'll be those festivities, and then again in October. So start by doing small steps, like paying fees, like paying half of your rent this month. Yes.
That is for January.
Yes.
Wow.
And so when you get there, even if your landlord is a really bad person, they'll appreciate and say, at least she tried. Yeah, she tried.
All right. Amazing. I know there's so much that we can talk about, planning for the festivities, especially on matters finances. But there's that one take home that you'd probably give us today. I think I've taken mine already before we even started the conversation. Pauline said, it is all in the mind. For a moment I was like, actually it is all in the mind. Those moments when you keep saying that, I am broke, you literally get broke. Those moments that you stay, you choose to overlook everything, boom, there's plenty, and you do not even understand from where and all that. So what is this take home that you'd give us today? And say, this is a tip that I'm giving you as you walk into the festivities, that know this is going to guide you through. Yeah.
Create multiple streams of income. That is inevitable.
We all want that, but sometimes it just does not.
We have to, because going back, looking back at what happened, what if another corona comes in a year or two from now, or any other pandemic? It's gonna be really dire. It's already dire. So that's my lesson, and that's what I'd like to encourage people. What do you have? Right now, if you're at home jobless, it's not the end. What do you have? What's your talent? How can you monetize it? And please support one another. I read in another WhatsApp group, somebody was really angry with another member who was seeking money for Harambee. I think they had a sick patient. So that lady said, I'm really upset with such a person. When I had opted or offered to sell them some item from my online shop, they later came back to me and said, oh, I got it from Gigi, Kenya, so don't worry, I'm good. So she was saying, then ask Gigi to contribute for you.
Ouch.
Now that you need that money. So it was hilarious, but it's a good lesson. Let's support one another. Let's lift one another, because hey, bills are still coming. We'll still need to pay fees. I haven't had any school saying you don't need to pay fees. KPLC have not given us reprieve.
I know, right?
And so is your bank. They gave you 6 months reprieve, but now they're like, you better start paying. So because the bills will still come, there are certain things like fuel that we will still need. It won't go down, but you can decide if to be driving to work now or take the train. That's an option. So let's support one another's hustles. And that's why I'm saying start multiple streams of income. you need something that I have something that you need.
Yeah.
So we can sort of just barter trade.
Right.
And we will raise money then for the festivities and beyond.
And beyond.
Yeah.
Wow, incredible. Pauline Wairimu, who's a certified financial coach. I think we have so much to learn from her. We'll still be having more of these sessions if she will allow us. So at least we all get to plan for our finances. They say, if you fail to plan, you certainly plan to fail. And on that note, as you get into the festivities, ensure that you plan. Limit. I mean, if you've just come in, there's no problem. We'll be having this session on our social media platforms. You can always go there and listen and indeed grab some tips that will be helpful for you. My name is Linda Alela. It was great having you once again. Thank you so much, Pauline, for your time. That's where we wind up this segment of Morning Cafe. I'll see you again tomorrow for Morning Cafe, but later in the afternoon on Matters News. Thank you.